Okay, so I filmed this review earlier and I tried to film it outside, but the audio was terrible and like I uploaded it like I tried to upload it and then it like the audio made me cringe, so I had to do this review inside. And Winter's Heart by Robert Jordan was certainly not the worst book. It was the second worst book of the wheel of time. It was not as bad as Path of Daggers, and I do have an unpopular opinion about this book. See, a lot of people hate this book and love the ending. I like the concept of the ending. I thought it was like the fact that Rand and Nynaeve kind of kind of bond the two halves of side there. That was cool, but I thought the constant for the last chapter was basically just POV shifts for like every paragraph or two, and it drove me crazy. I did not like that whatsoever. I like the fact that that happened, but just kind of that happening there, it's not really like my favorite. And the book I thought was okay. I thought it was good. Certainly the first half was better than the second half. It was 3 stars, and some things happened, but not a lot of things happened. I thought it was a tremendous step up from Path of Daggers, but still only a 3 star for me, so I'll explain why. I'll talk about each storyline and what's my problems with them, what's cool about them. Kind of like, how there's different storylines in the story, so. Let's see. I think Perrin's storyline, he was cool. I thought that was the best of it, but it kind of cuts off at the first 100 pages were just Perrin. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be pretty cool. I was interested. I wasn't ecstatic because I thought I was kind of lazy just to take Fael, but at least he's doing something. At least he has a goal, and that's to get Fael. And I don't think, that's just like, at least he's doing something. At least has something that he is doing, and which is much better than just kind of standing there. But it's kind of lazy to just kidnap someone, but at least he's and but the thing is okay, this was gonna get interesting. Cuts it off, no resolve, and I hear Crossroads Twilight is miserable, so I have to go through that to find what happened in this book. And I was like, where's Perrin? I thought it was not really like Robert Jordan to cut it off at page 100 and just write the story about someone else, especially when he's doing something interesting for once. And then I think we have Rand. Rand is a lot, just like Path of Daggers. He was with Min basically the whole time, and that's cool. I like Min. She's a cool character. And again, Arianda and Elaine show up in this as well a lot, unlike Path of Daggers, which is awesome. And then whenever he bonds them, or whenever they bond him, it's really cool. That was a cool scene, and I just thought that was really cool. Just being bonded by those people, and one not even an Aes Sedai, and it's just a really cool fact to happen. And I like that aspect, and I thought it was pretty cool. I really liked that part of it, and to see their dialogue between all three of them is really interesting. And I didn't hate that part of this. And what my gripe about this book was kind of Matt Coffin, which is weird because I love Matt Coffin. And in this book, he kind of he's back. He wasn't present in Path of Daggers, so he's back. But I did not enjoy his arc whatsoever. It was boring. It was not awesome. He wasn't really doing anything. If this book was all Matt's arc, it would be my least favorite, because he's there, but he's not doing anything. He shows up in this book, but he's not really present, if you know what I mean. He kind of he's there. What his storyline is basically he left off where we left him in Crown of Swords. He's with Teslin. She's kind of kidnapping him, or I don't know how you call it, but making him stay. And he kind of does that the whole book, and then he kind of leaves. That was his storyline. And he kind of plans to leave, and then he leaves. But to take up 100 to 200 pages of the book, telling someone he was there, and then he left, is not. That's that's not. It's just, I don't know. It's not enough to happen to someone. Like, I mean, like he was put there in Crown of Swords. He spent a lot of time there in Crown of Swords, and then he also spends a lot of time there in the palace in this book as well. And I'm like, that's a little overkill. So, like, that's just like, that's too much for me. And yeah, so I did think that was kind of crazy. And Matt, it's my biggest gripe of this book, and I hope he gets better. And I don't really expect what's it called, that book, Crossfit the Twilight, to get any better. But I will push, and hopefully I'll be reading Knife of James. And I did not love this book. This was my second least favorite. Right now the ranking goes, the least favorite is Path of Daggers, then it's this, then it's Crown of Swords, and then it's Eye of the World, then it's Dragon Reborn, then it's The Fires of Heaven, then it's The Great Hunt, then probably Lord of Chaos, if I didn't skip any. No, then Shadow Rising, then Lord of Chaos is my definitive ranking. And I don't really know. Like, Egwene was not in this book. Egwene kind of like ditches us. She was in it, but like she didn't have any much dialogue. She's the Amaryllis seat, and we got a lot of like this with her and Crown of Swords, like just seeing her being the Amaryllis seat, which is a really cool dynamic, and I really like that. But she was in there, The World of Dreams, a couple times, but not really. Other than that, not really much. She was in there because they can connect anytime with The World of Dreams, and there was not really like a lot of people love this final cut, and I liked it. I liked the concept a lot. I liked what it did for the world. It was not executed that well, in my opinion, but it did do a lot for this Wheel of Time world, and I can't wait to see what happens next. And yeah, the end had me, okay, I'm going to read the next book. I'm going to read this next book. And I can't wait to read Knife of Dreams. I'm very excited for that. And let's see. What else do I have? Tom Marilyn and Julian. I did not mention this in Path of Daggers review, but they weren't there. I was furious. Tom Marilyn and Julian are my two favorites. The Thief Catcher and the Gleeman. They're the best personalities of the whole Wheel of Time. And they weren't there, and they returned in this book, and I think that was a whole shining point of this, because Tom Marilyn is Tom Marilyn, and Julian Sandar is also Julian Sandar, and they're both very shining characters, and I do think best characters of the Wheel of Time, and they did not disappoint. They were kind of with Matt the whole time, and you heard what I have to say about Matt's storyline, but still, like, they were shining pieces. And I did like Matt throughout the storyline. Like, I thought of course, he's a likable character. But when your likable characters aren't doing anything, that's when you have a problem. And that's what kind of Winter's Heart did. It wasn't really doing anything. And, yeah, like, I could tell what they were doing. I liked it better. I found it a little bit easier to pay attention than Path of Daggers. Path of Daggers, I had to reread a page. Just, okay, I wasn't paying attention, because it was pretty boring at most times, and I could tell you the exact plot of all the Wheel of Time book, except for Path of Daggers so far, because it's just like all in my mind. I remember. I could tell you Lord of Chaos through and through. I just can't really tell you Path of Daggers, because it's harder to remember. And this one I can, but a little barely, because that's just, this book was like middle. It was not, I thought it was just so like bland, but it was not bad. Like, bland food, not bad food, but like bland. It's just like it's just happened, and I did enjoy it sometimes, and I thought immersive reading, audio, and reading this book helped a lot, because just to get into it, I can't really do that with the normal Wheel of Time book. Well, I can, but like, it's just very confusing. There's a lot of new Aes Sedai every time. There's just a new Aes Sedai, and what's his name storyline. one storyline I did not care about. At least I actually liked worse than Matt's storyline is Shallan or Shallan. But she had a storyline in this book, and it's not Shallan from the Stormlight Archive. I don't know. I was very confused, but like I hated it. That was at least so boring. I hate when they just introduce you to a new person, especially like they just. If they introduce me to a new character, I hardly pay attention or care. But like unless it's with our characters, like if they just have a chapter in this random person, I'll like okay. But yeah, other than that, like the random Aes Sedais, just adding them everywhere is kind of much. But other than that, I thought it was a 3 out of 5 stars, and yeah. So again, Fire the Vengeance review and Loki review coming out later today. Watch out for that. Not later today. I'm filming them later today, but it's not coming out till tomorrow. But watch out for that. So that was my review for Winter's Heart by Robert Jordan, and I hope you read Wheel of Time. But if you want to start Wheel of Time, read Eye of the World and watch my Eye of the World review if you would like that. So see you in the next video.